On this episode of In the Fight, U.S. and Afghan forces work with the people of Kandahar to make their villages safe. A worldwide charity takes a novel approach to unearthing mines throughout Afghanistan. A routine foot patrol uncovers an astonishing find. U.S. and European forces partner in one of the largest amphibious exercises in over a decade. And an Olympic hopeful races for his country. Dvidshub presents In the Fight. As U.S. and Afghan forces sweep across Kandahar, the local population is working alongside the military to rid their villages of explosive devices. Army Sergeant Seth Barham brings us this story.
The loud booms heard recently in Subdistrict 8 of Kandahar City were sounds of progress. In a joint effort, Bonesaw Company of 167 Armor, the 530th Engineer Company, and Afghan uniformed police from Police Substation 8 all conducted a clearance operation in the orchards of the city's western edge.
The farmers are the ones who own this land, and the insurgents are the ones making it dangerous. So what we're trying to do is make it safe for the population so that they can farm their land, harvest their crops, and make a living.
The engineers used anti-personnel obstacle breaching systems to clear footpaths in order to traverse the area as well as possibly detonate any secondary explosives. Local residents were on board with the operation.
The mission actually started a couple days ago with engagement of the local people. They also wanted this area cleared out so that they can come in the spring and start doing their farming and not worry about explosives out here in the fields.
4-2 is going to track visual of friendlies in the creek bed. If you can scan out 50 meters as an overwatch.
This particular area in the western part of the city was a place of power for the Taliban just a short time ago. Much of the success in this area can be attributed to the work of the AUP and the support they have garnered from local residents.
Yeah, Basabad is the name of the town. A lot of the locals love how they're consistent in their patrolling. They like the security that they get over there.
Sustaining security gains made during the mission will be extremely important.
Since this area will be cleared, we'll be able to hold this area now. So our patrols with the AUP will be able to go through this area more frequently, and I'll prevent the insurgents from using this canal zone to walk back and forth and transport explosive materials into Kandahar City.
The operation yielded 4 mortars, 8 rocket-propelled grenades, and an anti-personnel mine. From 2nd Brigade Combat Team, 4th Infantry Division in Kandahar, Afghanistan, I'm Army Sergeant Seth Barham.
In northern Afghanistan, a worldwide charity has taken a novel approach in the long and arduous challenge to unearth mines throughout the country. NATO channel correspondent Mel Preen brings us this story.
They used to plant homemade bombs. Now they're digging up mines. These men are former Taliban fighters. Abdul Ahmadzai commanded 30 men in the north of Afghanistan. He says his group no longer exists. Some were killed, some were arrested, while others joined him in leaving the insurgency. For 9 months now, Abdul Ahmadzai and these other former Taliban have been employed by the Halo Trust, a demining charity. The work is offered as part of the Afghanistan Peace and Reintegration Programme. Each man takes home $250 a month, which is more than a policeman gets paid.
هدف از این پروسه است که برای برادرایی که قبلا در صفوف مخالفین قرار داشتن و حال صلاح خود به زمین ماندن و میخواهند زندگی صلح‌آمیز داشته باشند ایجاد معیشت است و ایجاد یک زندگی مرفه برشان است.
پانوسانتی میکنیم خاطری توی پیش ماین است نه؟ ماین است پانوسانتی میکنیم بالا رشکاری میکنیم بر آره با ماین نزدیک شدیم با شکل نداره خبر میکنیم.
This area to the north of Kabul is littered with mines, as it used to be the front line during the Soviet war. Understandably, these men have concerns about their past catching up with them. They're sometimes on the receiving end of Taliban threats. They work away from their homes and only return once a month. They say the intimidation won't stop them demining.
باز دقیق قیانی والا گیر آمدیم دیگه اگه نه کی میامدیم
ولی خوش نیست حالا که آمدیم
حال خوش است دیگه اصلا خدمت از یام وطن خودی ماست وطن خود خدمت میکنیم یا خودش یام خودش یک جهاد.
These former fighters have gone from taking lives to saving lives. They say, in a way, it's their own kind of jihad. Mel Preen in Afghanistan for the NATO channel.
As the Pentagon begins the process of slashing budgets, military branches are looking at new ways to do more with less. Headquarters U.S. Army Materiel Command correspondent Joseph Gibbons files this report.
Sergeant Major of the Army Raymond Chandler met with fellow Command Sergeant Majors from around the nation for a Board of Directors conference held at the U.S. Army Materiel Command. The conference's main focus was on the state of the Army, but the trip also provided Chandler the opportunity to learn more about AMC and its contributions to the Army.
It is incredible what the folks at AMC do. And if you look at the 11 different major subordinate commands and how they, at the end of the day, help some young sergeant who's on point for our nation. It's incredible. So it was great for me to be able to see that and to tell some of them thank you for what they do.
Chandler is well aware that the Army is facing changes, but encourages the AMC workforce to continue their efforts to support soldiers worldwide.
We have a lot of challenges in front of us. We are going to make our Army smaller, but the Army leadership is committed to doing this in a responsible manner. And we can do this as a team.
From Redstone Arsenal, I'm Joseph Gibbons.
Hello, my name is Staff Sergeant Jeff Cochran. I'm out here in Camp Leatherneck, Afghanistan. I'd like to give a shout out to my wife, Sabrina, Richard, Brooke, and Kylene out there from Athol, Massachusetts. Semper Fidelis.
Hi, what's going on? I'm Lance Corporal Casey Rowland with 3rd Battalion, 3rd Marines. I'm a rifleman in Jump Platoon. I just want to give a shout out to my family back home, my lovely wife, Laura, and my parents and whole family down in Texas. I love you guys, miss you, and I'll see you soon.
Coming up, Afghans benefit from a lot of hard work by Marines. And U.S. and European forces partner in one of the largest amphibious exercises in over a decade. Check out dvidshub.net for the latest accurate and reliable information as In the Fight continues. Which country is credited with inventing the landmine? The answer when we return.
I want to give a shout out to my family and friends.
I want to send a shout out to my husband,
to my parents, my family back home.
I'd like to give a shout out to my girlfriend,
to my family and friends in Lansing, Michigan,
to my family out in Tucson, Arizona,
to my beautiful wife and children in Des Moines, Iowa,
to everybody in Texas,
in York, Pennsylvania,
Colorado Springs, Colorado,
Chicago, Illinois,
Harrisonburg, Virginia,
Orlando, Florida, Oceanside, California,
and Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
I love you guys. I miss you, and I hope I'll see you soon.
With the new Military 24/7 app from Divots, you turn your favorite mobile device into a window to the front lines. Connect with your nation's finest men and women through our video and photography archives and stay up to date with news reported directly from service members. Quickly share information and breaking stories with friends via Facebook, Twitter, or email. News, photos, video. Your military 24/7.
Which country is credited with inventing the landmine? The answer is D, China. In the Helmand province, Marines are working on a project of mammoth scale that will not only be beneficial to the Marines, but the local population as well. Marine Corporal Brian Nygaard files this report.
During the month of January, Marines with 9th Engineer Support Battalion constructed a land bridge across a dry riverbed, also called a wadi, which intersects with Route Red. Route Red has been under construction for the past year and is the main road Marines use when traveling north and south through the district of Musa Kala.
This was the last major project on the road build. The wadi, they estimate it sees about 4 foot of water as soon as the wet season hits. A combination of the rain and the melt off from the mountains. This gets hit pretty hard with water. So we're building a land bridge so water will flow and not wash the road out.
The land bridge spans 115 meters and will ensure the use of Route Red during the rainy season. Typically, the rain during this time floods the wadi and forces Marines to use an alternate route of at least 18 miles in either direction.
We have to level the ground, find center, then we lay our culverts in, the pieces where the water will flow through, and then we have to backfill over that. It's a pretty long, tedious process for each step, but when it all comes together, you end up with a bridge.
This bridge will not only benefit Marines and coalition forces traveling through the area, but also Afghans throughout the surrounding districts who use the road on a daily basis.
It leaves something permanent for the locals here, so years from now they can still use this wadi crossing even in the rainy season after we've left and know that we've built this and provided them something lasting, something they can use to pass commerce through this area.
The Marines worked around the clock through rain and freezing temperatures for more than a week in order to ensure the bridge was completed before the heavy rains began.
They do an outstanding job. They work hard. They get up early in the morning, they work late, and I have to kick them off the site sometimes. They just want to keep going.
Reporting from Helmand Province, Afghanistan, I'm Corporal Brian Nygaard.
For soldiers with the 25th Infantry Division, there is no crystal ball telling them what challenges lie ahead. Marine Corporal Liz Cisneros followed the 25th ID on a foot patrol and shows us what they stumbled upon.
For the past 9 months, soldiers with the 25th Infantry Division have been tasked with providing security, keeping the peace, and mentoring the Afghan National Army. Their daily missions include joint foot patrols to interface with the civilian populace and clear areas with their Afghan counterparts.
Today we were doing a partner patrol with our ANA partners, and we were coming to Big Reggae. It's a town in the Panjwai district of Kandahar. We're doing a clearing operation to root out anything that would be helpful to the Taliban, and also show the locals that we're here for them.
What started as a routine clearing patrol soon turned into something no one could have expected.
We found a very large cache of marijuana. When we find any type of marijuana, the ANA partners and us, we get permission and then we destroy it because it's illegal to have marijuana or poppy.
While their original mission wasn't focused on counter-narcotics, this latest cache helps members of the Afghan National Army accomplish their overall mission.
These missions are important because there's too much narcotics in Afghanistan. If we didn't have these types of narcotics, we would be safer and more secure.
Operations like these help advisors with 1-5 Infantry see the progress that these joint initiatives are making.
The ANA did very well. Our ANA counterparts that we have are very productive. They're very willing to work. They're very eager to get out and secure their people. They understand that it's their country.
Sergeant Skelly added destroying drug caches like the ones found today takes funding away from the enemy. Marine Corporal Liz Cisneros, Kandahar Province, Afghanistan.
The threat of improvised explosive devices hangs over the heads of service members throughout Afghanistan. Camp Atterbury Public Affairs correspondent Tim Sproles shows us how service members are utilizing some amazing technology that may one day save their lives.
Soldiers, sailors, and airmen that make up the Provincial Reconstruction Team Kandahar, currently training at Camp Atterbury Joint Maneuver Training Center for deployment to Afghanistan, were recently given the opportunity to utilize the Improvised Explosive Device Battle Drill, which is a training simulator created by RL leaders, which replicates the effects of an IED explosion.
We try to make it as real as possible. We took a full-up 1116 Humvee, put up on hydraulics. The software that we have talk to the hydraulics to tell the vehicle which way to turn, up or down, feels bumps in the road, added audio to it to give it the realism of being out in the sector.
Members of PRT Kandahar who completed the training were impressed with the realism of this simulator.
Within a minute, 2 minutes into the simulation, you kind of forgot that you're at Camp Atterbury. You have vehicles driving down the road, so very quickly you're thinking you're on a real-world mission.
Reporting from Camp Atterbury Joint Maneuver Training Center, I'm Tim Sproles.
U.S. and European forces are partnering in one of the largest amphibious exercises in over a decade. Bold Alligator, as it is named, is shifting focus on sea-to-land operations and will aid the military in reshaping itself for a post-Afghan world.
Participating in Bold Alligator is part of the certification of 24 MU, expeditionary unit from the Marines, before they deploy. And for us, this is a great training opportunity working with our fellow Marines and fellow sailors.
Working with other forces, that's always a plus. Getting to interop with other units, other capabilities, gives your guys an eye opener. Just not working with yourselves or the U.S. forces all the time. So it really brings a lot to the table to be able to do that kind of stuff, and shows younger guys that there's a lot more out there than just what we do internally.
Hey, this is Private First Class Josh Brown from Lillington, North Carolina, fire support specialist with a headquarters company and Brocky Brock. Just want to say a shout out to my fiance and my family. I love y'all and I miss y'all.
Hey, I'm Specialist Amanda Jo Kelly with Charlie Company 115th ESB here in Kandahar, Afghanistan. I want to give a shout out to my babies William, Keely, and Dustin, my dad Alan, and my grandpa Wade back home in Scant City, Alabama. I love y'all, I miss y'all, and I'll see y'all soon.
Hi, this is Sergeant Cody Stoik from Brocky Brock, Afghanistan. Just like to say hello to my wife and family back there in El Paso. We're doing good things out here, protecting the homeland. I love you, baby.
Coming up, an Olympic hopeful races for his country. And we'll showcase some of the best photos from our service members as In the Fight, presented by Divots, continues. By law, the U.S. Navy is limited to operating only 12 of these. The answer when we return.
With the new Military 24/7 app from Divots, you turn your favorite mobile device into a window to the front lines. Connect with your nation's finest men and women through our video and photography archives, and stay up to date with news reported directly from service members. Quickly share information and breaking stories with friends via Facebook, Twitter, or email. News, photos, video. Your military 24/7.
By law, the U.S. Navy is limited to operating only 12 of these. The answer is C, aircraft carriers. Service members constantly train to improve their skills for combat. Army Staff Sergeant Danielle Washington cuts into a story about one petty officer who uses his native culture and experience to teach the troops.
A combination of plastic and real knives line the hands of these service members as they practice stabbing techniques against each other. Techniques they learn step by step from sailor and martial arts instructor, Petty Officer Snake Blocker.
Well, I've been teaching this type of art around the country since 1995, and basically I get invited to by different organizations, martial arts studios, law enforcement that want to learn and explore a little bit more about the native culture as well as the native battle tactics to help them in the civilian life with their self-defense tactics and law enforcement.
With his years of experience as a martial artist, after joining the Navy in 2001, he was selected to teach military close-quarter combat and knife fighting techniques. Blocker, whose Apache knife fighting knowledge landed him on the Spike TV show Deadliest Warrior, believes that troops benefit greatly from extra hand-to-hand combat training.
And these magazine clips eventually run out of ammunition, and then what are you left with, especially if you don't have the confidence from previous training. Confidence goes a long way and it helps you perform well under stress, and this is what I'm trying to teach the people, to perform well under stress. You don't have to be an expert martial artist, but if you have enough confidence by going through training, you can always pull out a knife and feel a little bit safer and a little more confident when you're walking down the road, especially when you're out of ammunition.
Those that attended the 2-hour seminar were surprised with all they were able to learn in such a short time.
I mean, it's always nice to know a little bit of personal security. Even for my family, my boys are teenagers, I got a wife, so you get to take back your family if nothing else.
Though Blocker is heading back stateside, he plans to return in 3 months, hoping for another chance to strengthen service member skills. Army Sergeant Danielle Washington, Kabul, Afghanistan.
There's a group in the U.S. Air Force that has one of the most stressful responsibilities that any airman can have. Airman First Class Andrew Buchanan takes us into the tower at Beale Air Force Base and gives us a bird's-eye view in his report.
Being an Air Force air traffic controller comes with its share of challenges. With these challenges comes great responsibility. Air traffic controllers at Beale Air Force Base demonstrate their ability to keep the skies safe.
If we weren't here, you would have a lot of planes trying to sort themselves out and tell each other where they're at. We let them know where they're at. We give them traffic on each other, provide separation, and make sure everything's safe.
Working in a tower overlooking the rolling hills of Northern California, these airmen ensure that the nation's fleet of U-2 Global Hawk and MC-12 reconnaissance aircraft are kept on course.
It's a fun job. It's really complex sometimes. You really have to think about what you're doing. Every aircraft we have is a different aircraft characteristic.
The air traffic controllers of Beale Air Force Base play a key role in the mission of the 9th Reconnaissance Wing to always provide global intelligence critical to the defense of the United States.
It tests you mentally, and I think that's the funnest part about it. Like when I get in position, I feel like I'm playing a video game. But of course, you can't lose.
Airman Andrew Buchanan, Beale Air Force Base, California.
As the 2012 Olympic Games in London are approaching, one U.S. Navy lieutenant is hoping to make the track team and race for his country. Joint Hometown News correspondent Scott Williams brings us this story.
The Navy track team runs through the paces. In the brown shirt, 31-year-old Aaron Lanzell, an Annapolis, Maryland Naval Academy graduate. Aaron is a leader. He runs track for the Navy. He's a Navy swim coach and a Navy pilot. And now he wants more.
Now that I've finally I've had some great training, and now I feel like, hey, this is really achievable now.
His achievable dream to run in this year's Summer Olympics. Aaron barely missed the Olympic team in 2004, one spot away. Then Aaron had to drop out and fly naval aviation missions. Now, 8 years later, in 2012, he has a chance to join the Olympic team of his dreams. In order to make the Olympic team, Aaron must blast through a mile in 3 minutes and 55 seconds.
Track and field's one where it's a pure sport, pure measure of your abilities. So when you cross that finish line at a certain time, they're gonna say, okay, he's here to race too.
The clock ticks for this naval aviator born with rare speed and high desire. 3 minutes and 55 seconds in a qualifier this spring is all that separates Aaron Lanzell from being a U.S. Olympian. Scott Williams, Naval Academy, Annapolis, Maryland.
DVIDS is a 24/7 operation that provides a timely, accurate, and reliable connection between the media and the military serving worldwide. Through a network of over 200 portable satellite transmitters around the globe and a distribution hub in Atlanta, Georgia, DVIDS gives you access to the front lines with live and archived broadcast video, still imagery, and print products. Visit our website at dvidshub.net and search through our enormous video and photo library. Register on our website to gain complete access to high-definition content, along with breaking news alerts and webcasts from top military officials. For questions or comments about In the Fight or DVIDS, you can email us at ondemand@dvidshub.net or follow us on Twitter and Facebook. As we close, we feature some of the best photos that DVIDS has to offer, as we listen to Eddie Horst's composition, Pangea. See you next time, In the Fight.